What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Raiden, say hi to YouTube. So, folks, I wanted to do another review for you guys. So today we're going to be doing ARH Medusa. So I did want to talk about, as I'm talking about these statues, how I got them, why I got them, and so forth, why I still keep them. So this statue, I got this let me think, 8 years ago, maybe. I've had it for quite some time, and it came out several years prior to that. I always liked this statue. At the time, this was deemed a grail. It was like ARH's best statue. It was a grail, and I really liked it because, I love Medusa, and I like this rendition of Medusa and how she looks, and I think ARH did a great job. They made two versions, this and a rattlesnake version, but I wanted the OG version. They also made a newer version, but she had more of a pretty face, and it was a lot more cartoony looking, I would say. I've seen it in person. It's still pretty cool, but it doesn't touch this one, in my opinion. I still like the OG better. I got this statue for free, actually. A buddy of mine gave it to me. I was helping him buy and sell statues, and he gifted this to me for free. At the time, she was going for about $2,500. Right now, I think she goes for $1,200 to $1,500, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see her for sale often. Mine did not have a box, though. That was one big caveat. It did not come with the original box. It was bubble wrapped. It did arrive with a few breakages. A few of the snakes in the back broke off. The column to the base broke off, but it's covered by the snakes, so you don't see that. That was scuffed up, and I tried to paint it, did a crappy job. So it's definitely not mint condition. This is probably one of my most damaged statues I own right now, to be honest. But I got it for free. There's no box. So if I was to sell it, it'd have to be local pickup. Otherwise, it just never would, arrive safe. But, so this is 1/4 scale, been out a long time, deemed a grail. Is it still a grail? We'll get to that. First, let's check out the concept. So, you have a Greek-themed base where you basically have a Greek-looking soldier who's been turned into stone. Part of his legs and arm have been broken off. Medusa, for me, when I think Medusa, I know her from video games and movies. That's how I know her. And so she's always going over columns. She's long, she's big. She uses her bow. So they captured all of that. It's quite a long piece. If you were to probably measure her entire snake, I'd probably say it's probably 4 or 5 feet long. It's pretty big. It's quite girthy, as you can see. It's as big as a python would be in real life. If you removed Medusa and just put a python head, that would be a real life python. So it's pretty big statue. And overall, the scales and the paint app does look pretty good. And it has that rattler at the end. And it does have a lighter skin tone at the bottom, right there. The rattler looks good. Overall, it looks like a real snake. The only thing it could probably be is maybe a tiny bit glossy. I think real snakes are a little bit more glossy. But overall, I think the snake looks really good and it's pretty big. Other than that, on the base, you got him. You got a shield with a bird logo. Maybe that was part of Perseus's team, And then, of course, this column that she broke in half right there. And that is the one that's actually broken on mine. And I tried to glue it. Every time I move it, if I was to move her off, it would break off. But it is covered. You can't see the damage. And the snake damage is in the back, so you actually can't even see it. She doesn't have any swap outs. However, these are removable, so you can see the titties, which is always great. Because that's how she was actually in God of War. She showed the titties. So these are magnetic. And then it also came with this nice little Medusa nameplate, ARH. Curse of Beauty. So I just display that right there. ARH loves to do, titties on their statues. They always do. That whole sex appeal. But they always make it optional. If you don't want to display it, you don't have to. And they don't do anything licensed. Everything they do is non-licensed. They're pretty much like a custom company, but they're a legit company. And they kind of went out of business a few years ago, but they're kind of making a comeback. The guy used to live in Idaho. That's where the company is based out of. And now he's out of Peru or Brazil. And I see him making stuff, small runs. So the way this assembles, Medusa comes off, that bow comes off, the arrows, and then the bow comes off, that comes off, the whole snake comes off the base. So, but yeah, let's get a good look. So they did kind of like a red painting around the eyes and then kind of like snake eyes, so I think it looks really good. There's not like a ton of like skin texture. Older statues from this generation generally didn't have like extreme texture. Like there's some texture right here for like the snakish look, which it's more like that on her back part. I'll see if I can show you guys real quickly. You can kind of see that, it has that more snakish look in the back. Statue stands about 25 inches tall, so it's a pretty good sized statue. Big base, as you can see. The snakes, they're simple looking, but they work. As you can see, some of them even have like almost like stripe patterns. Some are open mouth, some are closed mouth, but they look cool. I still think it's a great looking statue, folks. I like it. It is a little outdated, Like I wouldn't mind like Prime 1 doing one, but Prime 1 generally just does like licensed and official stuff. They don't really do concept pieces. And this really is a concept piece. I do like this rendition of Medusa. Now, ECC also did a rendition of Medusa. I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest. The way they did her mouth was like split, and I'm not a fan of that. And then they also did like her tail splits in two, and I just don't like that. That's just not traditional. Because I was tempted. I've seen her bust in person, the ECC bust, and it is cool. But just that rendition of Medusa, I'm not the biggest fan of. It's honestly just not a version I like. And that's why I passed on ECC Medusa maquette and the bust. I just don't like their concept. Their design of Medusa is not my favorite. I much prefer this type of look, like the snake eyes, human from waist up, and then like a rattlesnake, similar to the movies. I do like the Medusa from both God of War and Clash of the Titans. And I got this to kind of represent my Clash of the Titans. Like obviously I got it for free, but I always wanted this statue to represent Clash of the Titans. And that's what this whole display is. Cyclops, Medusa. It's like my Greek mythology Clash of the Titans setup. I used to own the Sideshow Perseus statue. However, that was a terrible statue. I'm sorry. It was just bad. Really, really bad. And so I sold it. I got it because I wanted to have him, but it was just so bad. But yeah, overall, like paint and sculpt, it's pretty good. I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10, for paint and sculpt. Outdated. Yes, it is outdated, but it still looks good. It's not like you look at it and you think, oh, that quality's crap. Why do you own that? You look at it, you still think, oh, that's awesome. Like my brother's kids, they come over. One of them, their favorite statue is this Medusa. She loves it. She's like, man, that's so cool. It's just like a unique Greek mythology character. And so it has that really cool concept instead of just like another human or a superhero. The mythology and design is really cool, the concept behind it. So I do like that aspect of it. Value, I would say if you could buy this for $1,200, go for it. Will we see another Medusa? I'm sure we will. Who's going to make it? Probably ARH Studios. Maybe they'll make another Medusa. They've made 2 in the last 10 years. It's possible they make another one. Other than that, unless we get like a movie, and like let's say they reboot Clash of the Titans, Prime 1 gets a license and makes a Medusa, that's how I could see it happening. But I just don't see a lot of Medusas, maybe some customs. And this kind of in reality is just a custom. But it is a good custom. I think it overall looks good. I like it. I've kept it for a long time. So I still like it. I wouldn't call it a grail by any means. It was a grail 10 years ago, but now it's not a grail. But it is a cool statue. It's still like, a 7 out of 10 statue overall. And I still like it a lot. I don't plan to sell it right now. Would I sell it if someone came and offered me $2,000? Of course I would. But I'm not going to, sell it at technically nothing's a loss. If someone gave me $5, it's still a win for me. But I wouldn't sell this for super, super cheap just because I still value this piece, like I said, at about $1,200. You know, I still think it's a great statue. You know, and so overall, I still really like it. It's not like I look at it and I think it looks like trash. For the most part, I will say I like all my statues in my collection. Otherwise, I'll sell them. If I don't like them, I sell them. You know, like I sold Ganondorf because I just don't like it that much anymore. I think it was extremely outdated. I don't like the concept. I don't like the base. I don't like the detail. So it's gone. I sell statues for 2 reasons. I don't like it anymore, or I need the money, or, you know, like someone just offered me a ridiculous amount of money for something I do like, and I value that money more than the statue. You know, because money does trump all. Anyways, folks, yeah, that is what I'd say about ARH Medusa. Let me know what you guys think. Do any of you own her? What do you think of her? You know, when I first got into collecting, folks, like a decade ago, everyone was raving about this statue. You know, in the few Facebook groups that I was in, you know, people would post this and it was like, oh my gosh, the Holy Grail. There was a few other ARH statues that people really liked as well. But this was definitely like the Holy Grail. Like when I saw it, I was like, holy crap. So it is always great to get like those OG grails though, if you know what I mean. Anyways, folks, that is it. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.